Hello. This is just a really quick analysis of the Chainsaw Man anime PV. Um, I'm not gonna edit this. I'm just gonna go uh, basically scene by scene, frame by frame, if I have to, for the PV that just dropped for the anime. I'm really looking forward to it, and this PV is really cool and has a lot of interesting stuff for manga readers. So I'll say this up front. I am going to be talking about manga stuff in here, so if you don't want to get spoiled, now's your chance. So the PV opens up in this alley, and for manga readers, let me, this alley can mean two things. One, you think of Reze, right? So when I saw this, I thought these were Reze's shoes. I thought there was that one scene in chapter 52 with Makima and Reze, but no, it seems to be. By the way, I like the touch of the rat. You know, like the city rat, the mouse, the city rat, or the country rat. That's a good touch if you, for those who read the manga. Uh, so you see this hair, and I was like, oh, that looks like Denji's hair. And then you see the blood seeping and the the cans everywhere and the rubble and the broken pieces of bottle. It seems like, and you're like, oh fuck, wait, are they opening this PV with this scene? And it seems like they are. You can see the trademark shark teeth, and then you see Child Denji, and I won't spoil this. This is a huge plot moment, but I won't spoil it. But this is insane to open the PV up with, is all I'll say. But yeah, so it pans out, and then let me go back right for a second. You see this cafe, and my first thought is this the cafe where Denji met Reze? Where Reze works? That'd be kind of interesting, because you know, the first shot made me think of Reze, and then it pans out to something that could potentially be a reference to Reze. Who knows? And then you see the Hayakawa family, as I like to call them. Their clothes hanging out to dry. You see Power, Miyako, or Miaoi, however you say it, Denji and Aki. They're all just having a good time, being rowdy. And that's the classic jam on toast and pretty much everything on toast. This is, of course, a reference to Denji. When he first gets into the apartment, he just completely goes crazy with all the shit putting on toast, because it's like, holy shit, I have food now. It's crazy. All I ever wanted was to eat toast. That's a great reference. Then you see Kobeni at the beach and Denji and Power. And what's interesting about this scene is that this didn't happen in the manga. What I noticed was that this was in an omake, which is basically like a little short story in like a magazine volume, or like a standalone volume of the manga, where you can see Kobeni going out on vacation with, you can see Denji and Power here. So this makes me think, are they going to adapt to like side content that's included in the manga that wasn't part of the main story? That'd be interesting. So they can add more to it, but not like filler, so to say. They can flesh out the existing story. But to go back here, so yeah, you can see they kind of expanded on that omake, it looks like. So I wonder what else they can do. And then this is an interesting scene, because you see Himeno and Aki in bed together. And for those who read the manga, I'm sorry, this is definitely for manga readers. This doesn't happen, at least not I remember. It's Himeno gets in bed with Denji, right? But I think this might not be a scene that's in the show, because this is obviously a pre-animated PV. But this could be like just a establishing shot to establish the relationship between Aki and Himeno. It's sort of like these are these two characters and what their personalities are like, sort of deal. I'm not totally sure about that, but if it is something that's included, I don't know what this could mean. I think this, if it is in the actual show, who knows? It's an interesting piece of footage. And then it zooms out on a TV. So what I think about that scene is that it kind of reminds me of that one scene near the end of the manga where Denji is looking at TV and seeing everyone chanting Chainsaw Man, Chainsaw Man, and he's like, whoa, people love me, you know? This kind of subtly makes me think of that. And here you have the Eternity Devil. Go and see that. Look at that. Look at that morphing animation. Looks crazy and grotesque. Just how it should look. And then here you see the graveyard where this is super late manga stuff. Holy shit. Yeah, here's the big graveyard where Denji and certain other people have a showdown. That's awesome. And also you can see flowers here, and this reminds me of a scene in the manga where it's a flashback where Himeno meets Aki for the first time, and she's laying flowers at a grave, I think, and she's like, all my companions have died, so how can I be sure you won't? So that's interesting. It's kind of two scenes in one if you think about it. Some names, and obviously that's a piece of the Gun Devil. If I believe this is the scene where I think that's Aki who's holding it, and it's like from a weird ass fish monster that looks straight out of Gyo from Junji Ito, if you know what I'm talking about. Oof. Yeah, that's that's unfortunate. That's the explosion of Aki's home when he was a little boy. Yeah, that's I mean, it's beautifully animated, but it makes me feel bad. And here we see the Katana Man and the Snake Girl. I don't know their names. I like to call this guy Shad Man. If you know, you know. But look at them walking, they look awesome. And then here's the door, you know, the ever dreaded door that's foreshadowed throughout the manga. And here's chapter 1, I think, Denji and Pochita. They're in that little shack where he dreams of living a life of luxury, and to him luxury is eating toast and having a girlfriend. Don't we all? Don't we all? And here's one of the most iconic scenes. Makima and all the prison convicts at the temple, at the shrine, where yeah, look at that, her eyes. So it's cool to see the color palette of all these characters, like officially. How earlier Power is officially blonde, and to me this is obvious. I know some people are going to be thrown off by it because they always see her in fan art with pink hair, but look at the color pages for Chainsaw Man. She was drawn with pink hair like once, but consistently over and over and over again, and even on the cover of Volume 2. She's blonde. So, just so you know. Yeah, the scene's awesome. Look at it. You can see you can see Kurose and Tendo over here. That's sick. And then he pulls that ripcord, and then this is where shit gets crazy. So he pulls the ripcord. Bam! Pulls the ripcord, and boom. The way this is cut makes you think that he did that, but no. Obviously, this is Kon, whatever. This is Aki's devil, and it just rips through that building. That's sick. It's an iconic scene. That was awesome. And then speaking of Aki, out through the smoke, here he is with his sword. God, he looks so cool. Yeah, this is Aki, looking sick. This is, I believe, his fight with a certain other character. If you know, you know. Then Kishibe, the goat, Kishibe. Yeah, looking sick with this flask of alcohol. It seems like he's blonde, like has faded blonde hair. I didn't really expect that. I thought he'd have like white hair, you know, or gray hair. You know, he's getting old. But I guess they're going for a he used to be blonde, but he's getting old and his hair is kind of fading out, sort of look, which makes sense. And then here comes Power with her blood ability. That's one of the first, I think that's actually the first time that we see her ability ever, where she jumps off the building and summons that giant hammer. That's so awesome. And then she smashes that fucking like cucumber devil or whatever. And then here's Denji versus the Bat Devil. Look at that guy, fucking hideous, as he should be. And here you notice this is all 2D so far. People were talking about, oh no, Denji's chainsaw form is going to be 3D. This all looks 2D to me. And here you see, I think that's like the girlfriend of the Bat Devil. This ugly bitch. And here Denji comes, just running through all this shit. It's sick. And then I like this part. This is the Eternity Devil. You see Himeno, you see Aki and Denji. And, I'm gonna have to. I should have slowed some of this other stuff down, but whatever. Here they're running away from the Eternity Devil, and you can see Denji is like fucking pushing Aki away like an asshole. He's like, every man for himself. And he's like, and then Aki's like, fuck you. And then you see all the hands and other shit reach out to them, the zombies and stuff. That's awesome. It's an awesome detail. And then, you know, iconic scene over here, Makima biting Denji's finger. You know, remember this bite. It's an iconic scene. And see, this part kind of looks like CG, but I don't know if that's the composite. You know, I don't know if it's like drawn in a way, or like not drawn, but like the colors and the textures put over it are done in a way to make it look like CG. But like Denji's body as he slices through these things does not look CG. So I don't know. I don't think that's CG, but who knows. Obviously this is chapter 1. He first turns into Chainsaw Man. Iconic scene. Here's the zombies, and he's like, yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's CG, because it looks like textures put over it, and the lighting could be deceptive to some, but I want to go on a limb and say that's not CG. But even if it is CG, it's really good CG, because that looks great. And then Chainsaw Man, that's the title. And then, here's a staff list, and the staff is really good for this. The director is Ryu Nakayama. He's an animator. He's not a director. This is actually his first time directing something ever, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, he worked on some of Jujutsu Kaisen. He worked on episode 1, episode 17. I think he directed episode 17. And he storyboarded episode 19. Don't quote me on that last one, but yeah, the director for this worked a lot on Jujutsu Kaisen. And he animated some stuff on Yozakura Quartet. If you know what that is, that's an amazing looking show. He worked on some Fate Apocrypha or Fate Grand Order Babylonia or something. It's one of those. Either way, they look amazing. Those shows are crazy with their animation. And he also worked on the first season of Sword Art Online, from what I remember. Which, I mean, if you can take anything from Sword Art Online, it's that it's animated really well. The action director is Tatsuya Yoshihara, who is the director of the Black Clover anime, which, for me, overall, the Black Clover anime doesn't look good, but you gotta understand that, like, Yoshihara animated so much on that. Let me look this up, okay? Tatsuya Yoshihara. Tatsuya Yoshihara is an extremely talented guy who got dealt a bad hand working on Black Clover. He animated a lot on Black Clover in addition to directing it, and he animated some of the coolest scenes. So, and he also has connections to a lot of animators through like Twitter and stuff. A lot of young, talented and upcoming animators. So he's pretty much the primary reason why there's so many crazy random episodes of Black Clover that look amazing out of nowhere. It's because of the director, Yoshihara. Like, I'm looking at Sakuga Boru right now, and all these pages of animation that I'm going through is just Yoshihara's work on Black Clover. All the scenes he's animated. He's a really talented and really hard worker. He also worked on Jujutsu Kaisen episode 17. He did the fight with Nobara and the witch girl. I don't remember her name. Yeah. Let's see. Who else? The music composer is Kensuke Ushio, who let me go back to the he composed the music for Devilman Crybaby, Ping Pong, and A Silent Voice. So really talented guy. I love his work. Who else is working on here? The character designer is Kazutaka Sugiyama. I think Sugiyama is right. I think that's his name. Yeah. He was the character designer and chief animation director of Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. Yeah, that show looked amazing. If any of you have watched that show, it looked incredible. And his character designs are some of the best parts. The characters looked so good in that show. Yeah, just overall, the staff looks so good for this show. And this staff over here is people who worked specifically on this PV. I see Gem over here. They're very awesome. Gem's so good. Shout out to her. I think Shun Enokita was on here too. I saw someone say that, I think it's Kevin, who's really knowledgeable, he's an insider, that the staff who animated this PV is pretty much the same staff that's working on the show itself. So even if this is all pre-animated, it should be somewhat reflective of how the show will look. So take of that what you will. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much my really, really quick, bare bones, scattershot, off the cuff analysis of the Chainsaw Man PV. This is a terrible low effort video, but I'm excited. This all just dropped, and I'm just shooting the shit. I'm excited to analyze this PV. It was fucking awesome. But yeah, sorry for my stuttering and my awful voice. It's super early here, and I sound like shit. But yeah, peace.